Hey TikTok, this is Ms. Regine from SOAR Educational Services, and today I want to discuss executive orders. These have been in the news a lot because President Trump has written several executive orders, and some of them are controversial. So I wanted to explore what are executive orders. So let's start by defining it. The American Bar Association defines an executive order as a signed, written, and published directive from the President of the United States that manages operations of the federal government. Now, while executive orders are not specifically mentioned in the Constitution, Article 2 of the Constitution does give the President the power to execute the laws of the land, and presidents since George Washington have used a broader interpretation of what that means, and that has meant to include executive orders. So since George Washington, presidents have written executive orders and proclamations to carry out the laws of the land. So there are some limitations to executive order. Remember, an executive order is not a bill, so it has not gone through a negotiation process through both houses of Congress and committees, and it has been signed by the president, but it did not include the Congress. So because of that, it must follow things that are already constitutional. So a president could not write an executive order on things that are unconstitutional. So, for example, President Trump has written an executive order to dismantle the Department of Education. Well, it is within the providence of Congress to create, and so we would conclude also to dismantle departments. So that has been challenged in court. And some other executive orders have been challenged in court. Now, as I stated, presidents since George Washington have written executive orders. And, the next future president could just rip that and throw that away. But they have done it during their term. But in the last, we'll say decades, in several decades, it has definitely been increasing. I do have some numbers for you. So George Washington had 8 executive orders. Thomas Jefferson, remember, he was the one who was big on states' rights. He had 4 executive orders. Andrew Jackson, the one who President Trump calls a maverick, he only had 12 executive order. Abraham Lincoln, during the Civil War, he had 48 executive order. But as the years have gone on, Ulysses S. Grant had 217. So he came 2 terms after President Abraham Lincoln. His presidency was also mired with